Hello, everyone. Our group's presentation would be focusing on the state of Victoria's violent crime rates from 2012 to 2021. Crime statistics allow law enforcement intervention to prevent the predicted crimes from occurring by focusing on a specific location of crime and allowing police resources to be used more effectively. The violent crime statistics would allow us to predict the highest crime categories, specific locations with high crime problems, and efficiency rates of law enforcement to solve and charge violent crime incidents.
Hello, this is Anvisha Manandar. Being the data analyst of the group, I will now be introducing the dataset. The chosen dataset is taken from the Australian government website. The recorded violence and crime statistics are based on the state of Australia called Victoria for the reference period 2011 to 2021. The data being used is as of March 2021, and the violence offense category in the dataset is mainly classified by subdivision, division, and subgroup. The data is broken down into specific rows and columns displaying violence indicators such as assault, harassment, robbery, weapons and explosive offenses, etc. There are further realms to the violence recorded, such as location, charges laid, number of incidents, and rate per population. I'll now be handing over to my colleague Yogita.
Hello everyone, my name is Yogita and I'm the data scientist for this group. So talking about the data cleaning, the dataset file titled Violence and Crime Statistics consisted of multiple sheets in a single dataset which were further separated into different data frames to avoid any events of a mix-up. So the relevant datasets were chosen and the information of the topics were filtered in Microsoft Excel in order to just display those information that were related to violence. This filtered dataset was further cleaned in Jupyter Notebook. For the data cleaning, I imported libraries like NumPy, Pandas, Seaborn, and Matplotlib, and also loaded the three datasets for my data cleaning. Then I used the head function to check the top 5 rows of the dataset and also used the info function to display the key information of the data frame that shows the type and shape of those data frames. And I also use the isNull and sum function to check if any of the rows are missing values in the dataset. We can find that the second data frame has some null values present, so I just dropped the null values using the ANI function and downloaded the clean dataset for further visualization. Using the pivot chart visualization from Microsoft Excel, I chose the clustered column type for my visualization. The chart displays the total number of recorded incidents as per location division by year. From the column chart, we can see that it indicates a high number of violent incidents in the residential areas like private houses, apartments, non-private, holiday homes, motels are in the ground areas like front yard and garages as compared to the public community areas and other areas such as recreational or agricultural areas. The violent offenses mainly occur against the person, which usually involves bodily harm or other actions committed against the will of an individual like assault and domestic violence, as compared to other offenses such as public order and security offenses like disorderly conduct, prostitution, or drug crimes. The following plot titled Total Number of Recorded Incidents Based on Year created by Matplotlib shows the number of crime incidents as per year. Here we can see that the number of crime incidents have continued to rise significantly every year, as from the beginning of the year 2012, the number of incidents recorded was only 4,000 as compared to the end of 2021, where the number of incidents is around 10,000. Likewise, for the same title, by using the Plotly visualization, we can see the overall rate at which the crime has been increasing in different years. The following line graph shows how the number of incidents have been occurring and has been recorded and at what pace has it been increasing or decreasing as per the years. This will be further explained in the exploratory data analysis part. The following scatter plot titled Total Incident Recorded as per Offense by Rate per Population shows that the assault-related offenses have been occurring in Victoria in high numbers as compared to the public security offenses where only one incident has been recorded as compared to all other offenses. Looking at the exploratory data analysis, moving on, I have used the describe function to find out the key statistics of the data frame, where we can find that the minimum number of incidents is 1 and the maximum is around 10,564. And I've created a correlation heat map between year incidents recorded and rate per 100,000 population. And moving on to the line chart, we can see that the rate at which the crime rate increases has been the same throughout the year. Like there are less number of incidents at the beginning of year with more number of incidents recorded at the end of the year. And looking at the scatter chart, we can find out that the assault and related offenses have the highest number of incidents, since there has been little changes in rates of sexual assault, and also such data do not eliminate the most significant recorded increase in violent victimization against children, since they are collected less frequently and only apply to those aged at least over 15 years. So it might mean that there may be more number of assault and related offenses which are not recorded in the data set. And there are like one number of records of public order and security offense, which may be because half of such incidents are not being reported to the police, because usually the victims view the crime as trivial or not worth reporting, or there could be general distrust of police and the criminal justice system, which makes the less number of records of such incidents. So now I would like to give another part of my presentation to Anvesha. Thank you.
Hi again, this is Anvisha and I'm the data analyst. I started off by making visualizations in Jupyter Notebook. I first started off by creating a bar chart. While the most tragic and shocking incidents dominate media attention and public awareness, many incidents of violence occur at different public and private locations every year. We can see in the bar chart number of incidents of crime by location and year. Crime and violence experienced by individuals living in a community is an important public health issue. On a brief insight, we can see the highest number of incidents recorded was in private dwelling places. The lowest number of violence-related incidents occurred in administrative and manufacturing industries in the state of Victoria. With violence-related incidents leading to premature death or cause of non-fatal injuries in Victoria, locations such as street or footpath retail spaces also witnessed a high number of incidents. Criminal offenses usually involve bodily harm, the threat of bodily harm, or other actions committed against the will of an individual. On a brief insight, it can be seen the state of Victoria noticed an increasing trend of assault and weapon offense, with a high population rate experiencing offense related to common and serious assault, as well as prohibited and controlled weapon offense throughout 2012 and 2020. Firearm-related offense is the least occurred within the population of Victoria in the years 2012 to 2020. There is also a steep rise of aggravated robbery and rape in the population, with an average of 40 to 45% of the population being victimized by it. I then constructed a violent plot. The violent plot depicts a comparison of the years 2012 and 2021 in the number of incidents of violence recorded in Victoria. In 2021, the highest incidence recorded was 7,035, whereas in 2012 it was a little lower, with the highest number of incidents being 5,796. This shows a growing trend in the number of crime-related incidents each year. To create these visualizations in Jupyter Notebook, I began by importing the necessary libraries and the datasets needed for visualization. I then proceeded with exploring the datasets, visualizing the rows and columns, and looking into the data types to get further insights from the datasets. I also looked at the key statistics of the datasets. Having gained a brief insight about the data, I began to do the analysis by creating visualizations in Plotly. For the first visualization, I used Plotly to create a bar graph that displays number of incidents of crime occurred in different years. On a brief insight, we can see a high surge of crime in private dwelling places, while media and news outlets only report crimes of bizarre locations. Private dwelling places in the years 2014 to 2021 witnessed incidents as high as 10,500 incidents of crime-related violence in the 2020 to 2021 time periods. Lowest number of incidents in manufacturing, with incidents as low as 56, was noticed in 2020. The administrative and professional places, as well as the healthcare, also recorded a low number of crime incidents. For the second visualization, I used Plotly to illustrate criminal offenses in different years experienced among different population rate. Assaults, both common and serious, had the highest occurrence in the population, with about 210 in 2021 and 133 in 2017. Lastly, in Jupyter Notebook, I was able to create a violent plot. For the violent plot, we can see the maximum number of incidents in 2021 was 7,035, whereas the maximum number of incidents in 2012 was 5,796. Comparatively, number of incidents of crime and violence in Victoria showed an increasing trend. This represents a rapid increase in violence and criminal offences each year. I will now hand over to my colleague Akshay.
Hi Rick, my name is Akshay and I have worked as BI analyst for my team. So as part of this presentation, I have tried to represent the data in form of different visuals, which will give us some insights about the violence in the Australian southeastern state, the state of Victoria. So let's have a look on the first visual. My first visual here is a bar chart. Basically, this bar chart represents the data showing the number of violent incidents by the type. As we can see, assaults are being very common in the state and also have the highest number of incidents. And if we talk about other offenses like robbery, abduction, and homicides, there are very few incidents as compared with the other violent offenses like assaults and sexual harassments. So now let's move forward to my second visual. So as we have seen the number of violent incidents by the type of their offenses, now let's have a look on the visual number 2, which is a tree map showing the number of incidents recorded by their location. So as we can see, the maximum number of incidents are recorded in the residential areas, and after that on the streets, and the least number of records were recorded on the recreational locations like bars, restaurants, and hotels. So now let's jump to our visual number 3. So basically our third visual is a vertical bar graph showing the data, which is classified into 2 categories. These 2 categories tells about the incident, whether it was a family related issue or not. As we can see, the data has been classified into 2 categories, and it could be observed that the maximum number of assault cases are related to the family incidents. So let's move forward to our next visual. So the last visual here is a pie chart which has been used to show the status of the recorded offenses. It could be observed that for more than 50% of the cases, the accusations are made, while around 30% cases have no accusation. Still, there are 14% cases which are unresolved in the state of Victoria. We had a look on 4 different visuals telling us about the violence in the state of Victoria. However, these were the static images. Now let's move to the Power BI dashboard to have a dynamic view of these visuals. So this is the dashboard which I have created using Power BI. So basically this dashboard consists of 4 visuals and these 2 slicers, which will help us to filter out the data according to our requirement. So basically using these slicers we can filter out the data of our choice. So we have 2 slicers over here. One is for year and one is for the type of offense we want to see. So yeah, let's have a look on a particular kind of offense. Let's have a look on robbery. So as we have selected robbery, the dashboard has turned around for the robbery related data. We can see there are more than 20k incidents recorded in 10 years from 2011 to 2021 in the state of Victoria, and most of the cases have been occurred on the streets or footpaths, and obviously the robbery is not related to the family issues, so the maximum number of cases are not related to the family incidents. And one more interesting fact about the robbery cases is most of the cases, around 48% of the cases, are still unresolved, and only 37% of the cases are there where the accusation has been made. It's all about my dashboard and my visuals. Going forward, my colleague Airame will be taking care of the presentation. So over to you, Airame. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Eherame and I am the second BI analyst of the group. I would be explaining the data visualizations done in Tableau. First, I would like to start by showing a table that shows the various crime categories and their divisions. For the purpose of this part of the presentation, crimes against the person would be abbreviated as CAP, and public order and security offenses would be abbreviated as POSO. For the first visualization, I used an area chart to reveal the incident trends of the two division categories, which are crimes against the person, CAP, and public order and security offenses, POSO, over a period starting 2012 to 2021. The chart shows a significant difference between the number of CAPs and the number of POSO incidents for a period of 9 years. For the next visualization, I used the pie chart to show which area had the most crime occurrences and which area had the least from 2012 to March 2021. The pie chart shows that the most violent crimes occurred in residential areas, which is this blue area, such as dwelling, private or non-private, and to compare the different categories of charge status by incident from 2012 to 2021, I used a line chart. The line chart showed that the number of charges laid continued to increase significantly. From 2015 to 2017 over here, there was a large increase in the number of incidents with charges laid. There's still a gradual increase in the number of unsolved incidents. With recent technological advancement, we should work towards reducing the amount of unsolved crime incidents. Charges laid continues to be significantly larger than both unsolved cases and no charges laid. I used the bubble chart to show the relationship between offenses, charge status, and the number of incidents. The chart shows that assault and related offenses had the highest amount of charges laid and the highest number of no charges laid and the highest number of unsolved incidents. The second dashboard was made using Tableau. I used an area chart, pie chart, line chart, and bubble chart to effectively present my data. The dashboard allows us to interactively show the data and the outcomes of the data using filters. First, we can see from here that 208,556 recorded residential incidences were assaults and related offenses. And if we were to pick something else like robbery, we can see that robbery made up 14,373 community incidents. If we were to pick sexual assault, we can see that out of the charges laid, sexual assault made up 25,781. However, for no charges laid, sexual assault made up 31,638. This shows that there were more no charges than there were charges laid. And for unsolved cases, sexual assault made up 10,983. This might be due to the fact that, according to Australian Institute of Health Welfare, 1 in 6 sexual assault victims sought support from police. If we go to the line chart, we can see here that for sexual assault, no charges laid was higher than charges laid. So though unsolved cases remain similar to the bubble chart, which has unsolved cases as the lowest, both these charts show that no charges laid was the highest amount in terms of sexual assault cases. So if we were to pick assault cases and related offenses, we can see here in the pie chart that assault cases occurred more frequently in residential areas followed by community areas and the other areas was the lowest. Over here in the area chart, we can see that assault cases continued to increase significantly from 28,017 to 40,679, which is almost 20,000 more than what was done previously. Over here in the line chart, we can see that charges laid represented most of the assault cases, followed by no charges laid, and unsolved cases continues to be the lowest, which we can also compare to the bubble chart that is similar and shows that charges laid was the highest amount in terms of assault and related offenses, followed by no charges laid and unsolved incidents. In conclusion, the most tragic incidents dominate media attention, while numerous incidents of violence occur at different public and private locations in Victoria every year. Violence experienced by individuals is an important public health issue. There is an increasing trend of violence-related incidents throughout the years 2011 to 2021. Criminal offenses are growing in rapid rates. The state of Victoria noticed an increasing trend of assault and weapon offense. It could also be observed that the incidents of abduction and robbery are recorded least in Victoria. Half of the violent crimes incidents from 2012 to 2021 occurred in residential areas. Community areas had the second largest amount of crime incidents. Assault and related offenses has the highest number of charges laid. Residential areas have high levels of violent crimes in neighborhoods, mainly robbery and aggravated assault. Many of the residential areas encounter crimes that are probably related to an array of intertwined characteristics such as poverty and inequality. These characteristics can be both the case and the result of violent crimes in these areas.